Welcome to It's Chrissy Rice, the podcast where no topic is off limits. From wellness and spirituality to relationships, real life, healing, intuition, and all of the beautifully messy moments in between. I'll bring you honest conversations with heart, humor, and curiosity. Whether I'm sharing personal experiences or interviewing inspiring guests, I'll be diving into questions that we're all secretly asking, and you'll find authenticity, insight, and connection here. Pull up a chair, grab your favorite drink, and join the conversation, because nothing is too taboo when it's time to talk. Welcome to episode 10 of the Intuitive Agent Podcast. I am Chrissy Rice, your host for this podcast, and on today's episode, I've been going back and forth. I'm like, what's going to be number 10? What's going to be number 10? I feel like it's kind of a big number. We're in the double digits, We're going places with this podcast. And this was what came to me today. We're going to talk about pendulums, and not in a witchy kind of way. I mean, it can be in a witchy kind of way if you want it to be. But we're actually going to talk about you being the actual pendulum. Your energy being the actual pendulum, how you're swinging yourself. How are you swinging your energy? I recently, maybe a few months ago, saw this video on really understanding pendulums and understanding the energy of a pendulum. So a pendulum is anything that really swings and the force moves it. So the force of energy moves a pendulum. So a grandfather clock has a pendulum in it. A pendulum can be something that has like a crystal at the end of it, and you use it for yes or no answers, things like that. So pendulums are just this long swinging apparatus that moves when force is put upon it. Okay. I don't know if that's the real dictionary explanation of a pendulum, but I'm doing my best here. I'm not even going to look it up. That's just what I feel a pendulum is and what it does and how it moves and how it operates. And pendulums are really everywhere if you think about it. And I saw this episode somewhere on YouTube. I don't even remember where it was or who even put it out there, but it was pretty profound to me. And I was like, I'm going to try this trick. And then if this works in my life, I'm going to make a podcast episode about it, because I feel like other people should wrap their minds around using themselves as a pendulum, thinking about themselves as a pendulum. Okay. So this video was saying how force creates action, right? So if you're moving yourself towards a certain direction, an action is going to be taken. So for instance, I'm going to tell you about this experience that I had on my physical body being a pendulum. And then once I actually physically saw it, I was like, oh, wow, I can do a lot with this. Okay. So I went in, I think it was like spring break. We went on a trip to Tennessee. And one of the things that we like to do as a family is visit different kinds of caves. I'm very fascinated by caves, and different caves have different types of energy. And this particular cave that I went into in Tennessee, not one of my favorites. Beautiful cave, wonderful different things inside of it. However, I had the worst anxiety of my life in this cave. So I don't know if there was something tragic that happened in this cave at some point in its history or what, but the energy was so extremely strong inside of this cave. And I was trying to make it through, and we get to this point. It's sort of an ending point of the cave. It's sort of like a little cul-de-sac within the cave. And at the end of this cul-de-sac is a giant waterfall. Very rare to see that in a cave. So it's not a big room. And the cave guide was like, we're going to take just like a single file line into this room of the cave, and you guys will all be able to see the waterfall. We're not going to go in as a group. So great, small spaces, as if a cave isn't small enough, right? This was not a cave that we had to crawl in or do any sort of weird ducking or anything like that. It was a full standing cave and had stairs, and it was partially safe. I feel most caves are not that safe, but this one was like partially safe. And I just kept thinking about that video that I saw about pendulum and how I'm using my body as this force of energy, using my energy. It doesn't have to be your body, but I'm using my energy and watching everything that I don't want around it be pulled away from it or move away from it. And anything that I do want on it, like, how are you going to swing your pendulum? Basically, is the question that I started asking myself, and it started working. So we're all single filing line into this waterfall area in this cave, and people are coming the opposite way of me because they're leaving the cave, the part with the waterfall. So they already saw the waterfall. They're coming towards me. It's a small area, and nobody's doing this in a single file line except the one single file line that's going into it, right? Everyone who leaves kind of just is like scattering. So I'm walking and I'm thinking about the pendulum thing. And all of a sudden I'm walking in this straight line, and everyone coming at me is sort of breaking free of my energy. So they're not even getting into my aura, into my bubble, into my 3-foot surrounding area of my body. They're like seeing me walking towards them, and they're going to the left. They're going to the right. They're going to the left. They're going to the right. And they're kind of making this path. I'm not knocking into anybody. I'm not needing to stop for anybody. Literally a path is being opened for me to go ahead and view this waterfall as I'm just watching everyone's energy go around mine, because I'm going forward and they're coming out, right? They don't have this purpose to be in there anymore. So their energy is exiting my energy, and my purpose is going towards that waterfall. That's my direction. That is where I want to be. That is where I want to swing my pendulum, is towards that waterfall. And my pendulum was so strong that everyone who was coming after it, like, in front of it, was going to the left, going to the right, going to the left, going to the right, not knocking into my energy at all. And I literally physically saw that happen. And I thought to myself, well, that was powerful. Look at that. I saw the waterfall, and I ended up exiting the cave, and I came above ground, and I was like, I'm going to see where I can do this in my life in other areas. So if you think about it, the more that you swing your energy towards something that you're desiring, towards something that you're moving towards, a goal, a thing that you want, a place you want to be, a job that you want, a location you want to be in, a house that you want to be in, a contract that you want to get, a listing that you want to get, a buyer that you want to get, you need to swing your pendulum towards that. And the way that I think this works is I actually physically saw it with physical bodies, which we are all energy. So once I saw it with a physical body, I thought to myself, well, our minds are energy as well. Our energy can be projected to something that we want to swing our pendulum towards. Pendulums don't just go in one direction. They go the opposite direction of where you want. Also. So they're swinging forward and they're swinging backwards constantly. Forward and backward. Just imagine yourself as a pendulum all day. Forward and backward. That's why we're tired all day. At the end of the day. Forward and backward. So during the day, all the things that you want to do, that you want to accomplish, that you want to manifest for the day, you need to swing that energy towards what you want. Okay, you need to project that energy towards what you want to have, and you need to give the pendulum motivation and momentum to get to where it wants to be. The thing is if you ever have a negative mindset, or you think that it's not possible to reach that, your pendulum has a really hard time swinging that way. So you have to give that pendulum so much momentum to get to where it needs to be, and it needs to keep going. It's like swinging a child on a swing, right? And you're swinging them, and you're swinging them, and you're swinging them. The minute that you stop swinging them, they're like, more. Your energy wants you to do that, but if you stop swinging them, they slow down, and they can't get that momentum anymore to, swing so high they can jump off of it, right? So the minute that you don't have that motivation, that you have a negative mindset, that you think you cannot get or achieve what it is that you want to achieve, no matter how big or small, then your pendulum slows down and it no longer has any momentum to get to where it needs to be and where it wants to be or where you want it to be. The sky's the limit. Now, when you are swinging that pendulum, you have this momentum for it. You have this end result that you want. You have this thing that you're going towards, right? Because you're sending your energy towards that thing. You're swinging the pendulum to that direction that you want it to be in. But the whole journey on the way there might look a little different than you thought it would. The end result might look a little bit different than you thought it would, because that's going to be the end result for your best and highest good. But it's going to be very, very close to that end result that you want. But you have to be so set in stone about your end result that your pendulum knows which way to swing. Because if you're not so set in stone and you know exactly where you want to be, please let me swing my pendulum this way. Show me which direction I should be swinging my pendulum. I think it needs to go this way. Let's try that way. Let's swing it that way. Let's pull that energy towards that way. And sometimes your pendulum gets a little magnetically thrown off balance and it kind of starts to like sway a little bit. And it might, start to make maybe a circular motion and try to pick up a new path for you, but it's still swinging in the momentum that you wanted. But if we don't have that positive mindset, if we don't have that absolute confirmation of that's the path that I want to go on, that's where I want to swing my pendulum, your pendulum cannot move. It needs all of your energy. It needs all of your force to move in the direction that you want it to move in. No negative mindsets, no doubt. Just swing it. It's just like swinging a bat. Okay? You just swing it. You hope you're going to hit that ball. It's the same concept. If a batter comes up and he's like, I'm going to get a home run. I'm going to get a home run. And he swings that bat and he hits that ball and it makes that home run. He literally put all his energy into the bat being the pendulum. The bat was the actual pendulum. And he swung it and he hit his home run because he had no doubt at all that he was going to make that home run. He got up on that plate and he was like, I'm going to hit that ball and it's going to make a home run. And this bat is my pendulum. And the minute that he has doubt, the minute that he thinks that the wind is going to take the ball and 1 centimeter of a off track, that's when the pendulum doesn't quite have all the momentum it needs to get that home run. Trying to think of it in a different aspect versus a grandfather clock per se. So that is my lesson for episode number 10, is starting to look at things that you want to bring towards you or pull from you, pull and make distant from you, because you can distant things from you. It doesn't have to be about pulling towards you. It can be about removing something from you. Is how powerful that is and how powerful we are as pendulums. Experiment with this. Physically watch it when you're in the grocery store. Physically watch it when you're walking down a busy street. Physically watch it when you're in a mall on a crowded Saturday afternoon, and just watch your body. When you physically see it with your physical eyes, your body being a pendulum and how you can maneuver energy, it's magical. Like, it blew my mind when I saw it. Not that I've not seen that before, because I have, but I was putting 2 and 2 together. I was actually watching it before my eyes and watching how powerful it actually was inside that cave. And I was like, I'm going to do this in other areas and aspects of my life. And I have started to do that. And I have seen magical things happen. Literal magic has happened in my life since realizing just need to swing your pendulum in the direction that you want to swing it and go. And don't have doubt. Hold on to the pendulum. Don't let it go, but don't have doubt. So where in your life can you swing the pendulum? Now it can be towards you or it can be away from you. Pendulums go in both directions. So what in your life do you want to swing towards you? And what in your life do you want to swing away from you? That is the question for episode 10. Thank you so much for listening.